Yes, Purnima ma'am,
Yes,
you may
yes.
begin.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. A very happy and healthy evening to all the present mentors and the educators. As we all know, innovation is taking two things that already exist and putting them together in a new way. So, being as a teacher, our huge responsibility is to let our students make their habit to think out of the box and also to adapt themselves in the present era. Some of our most inspiring and unforgettable movies are of teachers and professors who use innovative methods of teaching to reach out to the minds of the students and win the hearts of the audience while doing so. While a few years ago, one would only see such innovative and effective teaching on the screen. But today, technology has given teachers a number of tools to enhance teaching methods. In today's session, 50 amazing science teaching techniques, we all are going to learn such innovative teaching strategies which every teacher can embrace and make their teaching ways more interesting and effective. As you all know, the world around us is changing drastically. Analyzing this change, CBSE Bharat Sahodaya Complex, under the leadership of Dr. Abdul Salam Sir, took up this immense task to organize this free online training sessions for the educators, which accelerated them to the new directions. Special thanks to Dr. Abdul Salam Sir for giving me this opportunity to preside as a moderator for today's wonderful session. I am Purnima Shukla, Science Faculty at MET Private School, Sharjah, UAE. I have been in this profession from the last 7 years. Now, before we begin, let me guide you how to participate in the session. We request all to keep their microphones on mute while the session is on. There will be a question and answer session at the end. Also, participants may write their queries in the chat box as per the need of a resource person. The participants can take the screenshots of the slides while running the slideshow. We will be available on Facebook and live on YouTube. Now, I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Abdul Salam Sir. Dr. Salam is a proactive educator and certified HR professional who has served 22 years in the education sector. And he is presently working as the principal of Oxford School, Trivandrum. His work experiences ranges from India and Maldives to UAE. He is the General Secretary of CBSE Bharat Sahodaya Complex, CBSE Resource Person, and CBSE Deputy Training Coordinator of Trivandrum region. He has received appreciations from Dubai Police for learning collaboration with them from the British Council for integrating internationalism in education, and moreover on the title Educarian Icon by ICSI. Recently, he has been recognized and awarded as Innovative Principal by National Education Brilliance Award 2020. Heartily welcome you, sir. Now I request you to give presidential address.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Purnima Shukla.
Thank you so much.
Hope my voice is audible. I have a bit of connectivity issues today. Am I pretty audible, Ms. Purnima?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Well, good evening once again, participants. We have no words. Words are not initiate the educators who have joined us for this.
You are mute, sir. Still, we cannot hear you, sir.
Is it okay now, Mr. Arun?
Yes, sir. Yes, totally okay.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for the trouble. What I was talking about is we have no words, or words are not enough to appreciate the participants, the educators who have joined us for this particular program even before 4:30 and have been lining up. That shows the enthusiasm, and that must be appreciated. And we are pretty sure that this enthusiasm will result in the benefit of the student community and ultimately in the building of the nation. So thank you so much. And we have been talking about machine learning triggered by industrial revolution and the present fourth education revolution, etc., etc. But at the same time, we have not come out of the traditional teaching process fully. So, though we have been, aware of the various methodologies available for the benefit of the student community and to make the teaching and learning more interesting and effective, still we have to make lots of changes within us. And definitely we are sure that this session is going to be very enlightening for you. We can choose out of the 50 innovative methodologies, we can choose the best to suit the learning style of the student community. And please, I would like to request each participant to give your constructive comments, suggestions in the feedback form, as we know that you have high expectations in us. And we have been graced by a veteran trainer, a trainer who has been awarded by CBSE for being the best teacher trainer of CBSE, Miss Lata Prakash, who has joined with us. Thank you, Lata ma'am, for joining us today. And we have been graced by
Excuse me, sir, we can't hear you.
again. Is it okay now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes. So we have been graced by Ms. Lata Prakash, who has been awarded by CBSE the best teacher trainer. And thank you, ma'am, for joining us and blessing us on this particular session. Hearty welcome on behalf of Bharat Sahodaya. Am I audible, Ms. Purnima?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Lata ma'am. And we have been graced by Dr. Jayanti, who is our patron. And we have a wonderful resource person today, Ms. Jyoti, who will be taking you throughout with the 50 innovative methodologies of teaching science. Hope to enjoy this session. Wish you all the very best. Over to Purnima ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now it's time to welcome our program collaborator, none other than our dearest Dr. Jayanti. I request our audience to welcome her with virtual bouquet of flowers. Dr. Jayanti is the principal of having 3 decades of unparalleled service in the education field. Now, she is serving as the principal of Sri Chamundi Vidyapitam in Trivandrum. She is the patron and co-founder of Bharat Sohar. Heartily welcome to you, ma'am. I request you to address our audience now.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Purnima.
Thank you so much.
And welcome to Bharat Sahodaya, 58th Web Series. Today, I am happy to inform you our chief guest, Lata Prakash ma'am, who maintain a pure friendship between the principals. Ma'am is also a good trainer and a lovable person. As well as today's resource person, Jyoti ma'am, moderator Purnima ma'am, participants who have joined today, and also Bharat Sahodaya, strong pillar, our General Secretary, Salam sir, President Shibu sir, Treasurer Biju sir, everyone, welcome to this training session. I would like to thank God for giving various types of training program to teachers all over the world to our Bharat Sahodaya. Thank you so much. Once again, God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, the next dignitaries to honor us with their presence are Mr. Shibu, the President of Bharat Sahodaya and Executive Member of Kerala Confederation of Sahodaya Complexes, and also Mr. Biju S. Pillai, the Treasurer of Bharat Sahodaya. We warmly welcome both of you, sir. It's my privilege to introduce and welcome our next dignitary and the chief guest of the evening, Ms. Lata Prakash, CBSE resource person, reserve panel member for the inspection of CBSE affiliated schools and presently working as a principal of IAS Public School, Thrissur in Kerala. Being a proven organizer of mega events, Ms. Lata has conducted number of training programs for teachers and principals. Additionally, she is a recipient of CBSE's Best Teacher Trainer Award 2017. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being a part of 58th web series of Bharat Sahodaya web series. We warmly welcome you. I would like to invite you to felicitate all the present over here. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ms. Purnima.
Hi, you're welcome.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Honorable dignitaries, office bearers of Bharat Sahodaya School Complex, the General Secretary, Mr. Abdul Salam, President, Mr. Shibu, and other office bearers, Madam Jayanti, the resource person of the day, Ms. Jyoti, and all the delegates who have joined this session today to learn from the resource person of the day. I am today very proud and happy that I'm a part of this amazing program which Bharat Sahodaya has organized. We know that there are a number of Sahodayas working all across the country, and especially in Kerala, there is a chain of Sahodayas working across the state. And to mention a few, and to the best, the CBSE Bharat Sahodaya Complex is doing wonders by arranging a series of training programs for its teachers and principals. And these kinds of training programs indeed are the need of the hour, because we know that today in the present scenario of developing science and technology and the world is going through challenges and crises, we have to be upskilled and updated with the latest technologies and ways and means to maintain ourselves proficient enough to handle the children in the classrooms, in the virtual platforms, to make them competent enough to become successful citizens of the country. So Bharat Sahodaya Complex is doing an amazing job that finding out the best resource people and finding out the most apt topic which is need of the hour, and then conducting sessions by organizing these kinds of programs, giving participations to teachers across the country. It is something great. So today's topic, amazing science, the most innovative methodologies of teaching science, is something very relevant and in need of the hour, we can say, because we know that presently in the present scenario, science and technology is developing and growing very fastly, so that every teacher in the teaching fraternity, especially the science teachers, have to be well equipped and updated and upskilled with the techniques of teaching science. And congratulations to all the teachers who have joined this program from the nook and corner of the country. And I'm really glad to see that a number of participants from the different parts of the country have joined this program. So that shows how curious the teachers are to get trained with these kinds of topics. And congratulations to Bharat Sahodaya too, the organizers, for having thought of these kind of programs for the welfare of the entire teaching fraternity of the country. Wishing you all the best. Thank you so much for having invited me to be a part of this program. Wishing everyone the best, and let us see that all the knowledge we gain from this platform get shared with the aspirants of the future, our children in the classroom, so that they'll become the best citizens as the country envisages. Thank you very much. Wishing all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for felicitating the occasion.
Thank you, ma'am, for the motivation. And dear educators, I have to make an announcement. Lata ma'am has agreed to conduct a session for us on STEAM. So let's wait for the day. Thank you so much, Lata ma'am. Over to Purnima. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I consider it a great honor to welcome our eminent resource person for today's session, Ms. Jyoti J. Shidangoda, Academic Coordinator and HOD of Science, Lokmanya Tilak International School, Navi Mumbai. Ms. Jyoti had aced MSc in Physical Anthropology from Karnataka University in 1997 and went on to complete B.Ed from Mumbai University in 2011. An adroit and efficient proofreader in academics, she believes and implements innovative ways of teaching science, ensuring to permanently etch the concepts of science in the developing minds of the students. She is also a council member of WICCI group. Being an ingenious and resourceful educator, she is responsible for conducting various external exams like the Olympiads, PELB, etc., with the intention of providing a healthy competitive platform for developing minds. She regularly conducts and organizes number of intra and inter-school science exhibitions. She firmly believes in promoting a balanced and stimulating environment to the students. During her non-teaching hours, she ensures to guide students in various aspects that add value to their life and encourage them to hone their skills in drawing, sports, art and craft, etc. A very warm welcome, ma'am, as we all are very excited to begin our learning for today. Without further ado, I would like to request you to take over from here. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Purnima ma'am. I would like
My
to
pleasure.
first offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Swami, and I would like to pay my gratitude to Dr. Abdul Salam sir, who has given me this opportunity today to present my the different methods of teaching science, and have implemented this in my actual learning classroom and teaching classroom, where even I have learned so many new things, and I would like to share this with the audience. Now, before I would start, I'll just share my screen. Ma'am, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Let me begin with a quote given by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. We should not teach children about the science, but give them the taste about it. Now, this is like the slide which is depicting a earthen pot. Now, we are into a noble profession. So, what as a teachers we should have the qualities and what we should do? We should have the qualities like patience, love, and care, which is always there with every teacher. But along with this, we should be like a pot. Now, why I'm saying pot? The reason being, when we have to draw the water from the well, the pot has to bend. If it bends, then only the water will get inside the pot. Similarly, as a teacher, even we have to collect all the resources as much as possible, various sources we can try out to make our teaching learning effective. And after taking the water from the well, again, when we have to transfer it to the other vessel, we have to bend the pot. So similarly, even we as a teacher, we have to get down to the level of the children so that they can understand whatever we are teaching. So that is the beauty of teaching. The slide which is showing the teacher is watering the plants there. Like plant is just a growing boy, which has been shown in the picture. Now, as said by the Edgar Dale, now these are the various things which we are always hearing about. We always retain 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, with 70% of what we say and 90% of what we say and do. So when we look at the last two parts, that is the active part, and whereas the other parts are called as passive. Now, to begin with the first methodology, that is the experiential learning. Now, CBSE is already, they are always focusing on the experiential learning. Now, what is exactly experiential learning, or it is also called as hands-on learning? Just to give an example, now basically here the children are doing these activities. I have something to show. This is very simple instrument. Like if you have to teach them the concept of sound and communication in physics, you can make a telephone string or telephone like this, and two balls can be taken of plastic. One should be put on the mouth where the child is going to speak, and one should be put on the ear to hear it. Now let me tell one more thing, that whatever methods I'm going to take you further, all the methods will not be applicable online. There are half methods which are applicable online, and half of them can be used in the regular classroom. So but this can be tried at home if the siblings are there, or even they can try with their parents. So here the concept of time, distance, velocity, everything is introduced, and also they know. Now when we are doing that, we can just have a simple, ask them to make a simple paper aeroplane. Now when this aeroplane is thrown, we can ask them what is the distance it has traveled, how much time did it take to travel there, and what is the velocity. So here the concept of physics is learnt by them very quickly in a simple manner. This is the experiential learning which I did in the class 9th last year. I had taken a topic COVID-19 pandemic, and the same subject was integrated with all the other subjects, like yoga was there, life skills was there, biology was there, then economics, geography, history, mathematics, all the subjects, as many as possible subjects can be interrelated with that particular topic. So whenever we are doing experiential learning, we can also integrate it with the other topics or other subjects. Next is the storytelling or the facts based. Now this is very simple, like the teacher can draw the attention. Now especially this works out in the lower classes, because a teacher is explaining something, sometimes the children may get bored. So she can start in an innovative way of taking it in a story manner. So if she has to teach the life cycle of frog or butterfly or evolution or anything for that matter, she can start in the form of story. Even for the genetics, like chapter like genetics, which is in the higher classes, there she can talk about the facts, like the genetics mysteries can be solved, like how the DNA fingerprinting is carried out and why it is carried out. So many things can be correlated with actually using the facts which have taken place. Now, if the current situation we take, it is the pandemic situation. So when we are talking about the microorganisms or something like that, we can highlight upon the current situation, and there they can correlate with each other. And so the children will get that knowledge quickly. Moving to the third method, playway method or sports-based method. Now, who would not love to play? Everybody loves to play. And children, they are actually missing all these things. But there are certain points, like in this particular slide, whatever I'm going to show further. Before I show, I would like to ask you, how can we utilize snakes and ladders or Ludo games in our teaching methodology? Yes, audience, I want the answer from you. Sir?
Yes, ma'am. It's there in the chat box, Miss Purnima, if you can read
Yes.
it out.
Okay. No, I'm not looking at the chat.
Miss Purnima will help.
Okay.
Okay. And can I request you, Shrikala ma'am?
No, ma'am. You can read out the chat box.
So there are some participants who had raised their hand, so they can also answer. So can I unmute?
Miss Shrikala had raised her hand sometime back.
Yeah.
You can check.
Good evening, everyone. It can be a quiz. For the wrong answers, they come down. For the right answers, they go for the ladders.
Okay. Very nice, ma'am. Very nice. Now here, this is like the snakes and ladders. I had prepared a chart using the colored papers, and I had printed the questions on alternate blocks. And when the child, this is a physical activity. So when the child is rolling the dice and when they're moving to that particular number, so the questions have been put up. So they need to answer that question. And if they're right, they will climb the ladder. If they're wrong, they will come down. So that way, this game becomes very interesting. And this is basically, I have used it for recap of the chapter, like revision of the whole chapter can be put up in snakes and ladder manner. The other game, that is Ludo, just now I said, I would like to show you here personally, like if you're able to see, all of you, this is a cloth on which I have painted the whole game of Ludo, and the questions have been pasted on it. So this is like, again, the same. When the dice rolls, it is going on every block and the child has to answer that particular question. So this is like very interesting game where the children are enjoying playing this game. Moving to the next method. Yeah, before I move there, again, I have a question for you. How we can introduce topic of chemistry like radicals, ions, metals and non-metals in a playway method? Yes, any answers?
Wait, ma'am.
This K. Indira has raised her hand.
Flashcards, Chandran has written
Okay.
class in groups for radicals by play method.
Okay, very nice, ma'am. And now I would like to tell you that we can introduce this topic by using the thing called as science text cards. Now here I have made the cards with two colors. Now one is white color where I have written the name of that particular radical or the ion, and I have used the pink card for the symbol, that particular symbol. Now, how we are going to play this game is like you have to make all the cards like this, pink color cards and white color cards, and you have to make two groups in the class. And each group will be given the colored card. One will be given pink, one will be given white. And once they get this card, whatever symbol is there, whatever name has been written on it, and later on you have to ask them to match. So when they're playing this game, Arey, what is yours? What is mine? I am sodium, you are iron. What is the symbol? Like this, we try to match the correct pair. So this worked out very fruitfully in my classroom, as well as in biology also. I tried doing with the digestive system. So these are called as text cards. You can make of any colors that you want. So this is very simple game where the children are enjoying doing the match the following and pairing and all those things. Moving to the next. Now here it is like we have to build up the science vocabulary. Now when we are building up the science vocabulary, it is very important. This is called as instructional conversations. Now when we are teaching them, we are coming across so many scientific terms. Some children are able to remember, some are not able to remember. So in that case, we can ask every children, like this teacher can give this as an activity. So here we can ask them to make a small diary like this and maintain a small diary like this where every word they are coming across in their syllabus of science, they have to make a note into it. And later on, by the end of the year, this whole book will get filled up. So all the terminology, it's only the word we have to write because it's just the vocabulary they are trying to build up. So this can be started right from the first standard onwards to any level. Even in 12th standard, there are many new terms which they come across and they find difficult. Like for example, sphygmomanometer. Now they find it very difficult to write such a big word. So when they practice writing in such a small diary and keep this very handy, so this is very interesting and they really love to do this. Even this was implemented in my class. Moving to the next is the role play. Now role play, everybody knows that there is a particular role assigned to every student. Now even this can be done online or as physically. Yes, we can do this. Now here if we have to teach them the planets, solar system, when we are teaching or parts of flower or forming a food chain, especially in the higher classes, we can ask them to become one particular organism in the food chain. Like one will become grass, the other one will become cow, the other one will become tiger. So how the food energy is flowing from one organism to the other. Similarly, the parts of flower or the solar system, everything can be done in the role play method. Maybe this is very much known to everybody, role play, but this was always applicable in the language for doing dramas and all. But we can implement in our science also. Then moving to the
It can
next
be
is,
used for art integration also.
yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Art
We can.
integration.
Yes, we can use it in art integration also. Then the next methodology is graphic organizers. Now, graphic organizers is basically which is organized and structure manner, and where the central point is given and various branches are formed. I would like to show that slide, and you have to depict it with arrows which are going to point in that particular sequence of the process. Like here, I have taken an example of sources of air pollution. So what are the various sources which are going to cause air pollution, like campfires, firecrackers, aeroplanes, whatever I have listed. So children can come up with any answer with this, but they have to depict in this manner. And when we're doing this, this is called as graphic organizer. Moving to the next is the visual clues. Now, as I said, whenever we see something, we register, that gets registered in our mind very perfectly for many years. Whatever we have learned in our childhood, even till today, I remember the reason being somewhere that was captured very well by my eyes. So when we say like this, we can show them with the help of drawings, diagrams, or anything. Like here, I have made a charts, like small charts can be made. The excretory system has been made in colorful manner so that whenever it is shown to the children, they really enjoy like how the parts are there, what is the function of every part. So they would love to do this, and some are very creative. So when they're actually doing this, that helps them to motivate, and that is an encouragement for them to participate in the science exhibitions and all. Then we have the next is word games. Now again, this word games, this is we can apply in the lower classes. We know that they play Scrabble a lot, where the different words are formed by them. So there are different games like hangman, Pictionary, dingbats, bingo, Scrabble, dumb charades, trivial pursuit. Many games are there. So when they're playing that game, we will ask them to write the scientific terms. They have to make the word formation. Those should be the scientific terms. So by this, the science vocabulary is getting built up very quickly. Then the next is word parts. Now in the word parts, now as I said, in a class, there are different levels of children. Like some are below average, some are average, some are very smart. So for smart ones, it's not a problem. But we have to focus on each and every child being a teacher. So when we talk about the below average children, there we can ask them to have these words to be broken into parts. Like example, we can use the prefix and we can make them understand what is this prefix, what is the suffix, what is the base word and all. Like example, metamorphosis. So meta means large, morph means change, and osis means process. Similarly, photosynthesis. Photo means light, synth means make, and assist means process. So this way, when the child is breaking the word in parts, he is able to remember those small letters in parts, and finally he can combine and form that word, and that becomes easy for him to remember the spelling as well. Now, before I go to the next slide, I would like to question you again. What do you feel, that social media is a boon or curse?
It says both.
Both.
Mostly.
Okay, I agree. It's a boon as well as a curse. We know that being a parent, everybody is facing this big problem during pandemic situation because everybody is forced to be online teaching. Now, it is a boon for educational field. We are learning so many things. Our education is not getting hampered at all, even in the pandemic situation. But it is a curse when this is not channelized properly by the students. There are many students, those who are running onto the wrong sites, and they're wasting their time. Instead of attending the classes, Everybody will agree with this, because every teacher, including me, we are facing this problem that the child was very, very smart, and all of a sudden, due to pandemic situation, his graph has gone down. What is the reason? He's continuously on the mobile watching different sites, which is not appropriate at this age at all. And so as a teacher, we can encourage them by having social media, but let them go on the channels to visit like scientists in the Twitter or Feedly. There are so many sites where they can follow the scientist. But do we think that they are really doing that? They are not. But this is our responsibility as a teacher, and even parents at home. They can watch there, they can monitor their child, what exactly the sites they are watching, because that is very, very important. Now here there are other sites like Pinterest. Now here many this are shown, like experiments are done or the models are on display. So when the child is visiting on these sites, he's actually learning something which is very, very constructive, instead of going in the other wrong way. So that is how the social media is a boon as well as a curse. Then moving to the next is virtual science labs. Now, again, we are restricted, but we are able to complete the experiments in science with the help of O labs. Now, O labs is a site where it's a virtual science laboratory where all the experiments have been illustrated very well, diagrams have been shown. We feel as if we are actually doing the experiments. Simulations are given in that. Even if you talk about biology, the dissections are done virtually very nicely, and the child is understanding the parts very clearly. So this is like, since we are in this situation today on online, so we are forced to do this. But yes, virtual science lab works very fruitfully.
Jyoti ma'am, can I make an announcement? Dear
Yes.
participants, this PPT won't be shared. If you want, you can take screenshots as informed by Ms. Jyoti. So please, thank you, Ms. Jyoti.
Okay. Now the next is the science kit. Now so many science kits are available in the market. Now here one I have brought, like here, like this activity wise, class wise, they are given in that kit. Completely it is given where they can do that experiment at home without any trouble. Every material related to that experiment is provided. Yes, but when you talk about chemistry, there are so many chemicals. Of course, the chemicals are not provided. These are all the experiments which can be handled with care by the student themselves. So this is like science kit. So if you have to gift someone, you can give them with the science kit where the child is learning the experiments and all. Yes, that reactions part where there are the dilute acids or whatever is there, which is not causing any effect, that can be used. Lens and mirror, making a projector can be done very nicely using this science kit. Then word walls. Now science word walls, this is applicable in the classroom where the teacher is asking them to create a creative wall related to science. Now when it comes to creative word walls, there are two types. One is called as static and one is called as interactive word wall. Let me go through I will show you the slide of static. Now here, this static word wall, it is the organization of all the alphabet. It is in the alphabetical order. Like example, A for aeroplane, then ambulance, art, angel, like this. It is not related. Each word is not related to the other, but it is starting with the same letter. So this way, this is helpful for the primary classes. You can have a look here. This word wall is showing like all the alphabets, and like it is starting with the same alphabet: leave, look, long, love, live, and all, live and all. So this way, this is called as static word wall. And the next one is called as interactive word wall. Now when we talk about interaction, or here one is connected to the other, and this is including so many vocabulary, and when they are doing all this vocabulary on the wall, they are pasting it. What happens when the child is moving in and out of the classroom? He's continuously observing that wall. So when he's observing, those words are called as sight words. So they get registered in their mind. Even in the pre-primary classes, teachers do the same way. If they have to write the word of apple and all, they will just write it. The child may not learn the spelling initially, but looking at that word, and he's been said that this is apple, A-P-P-L-E is apple. So looking at that word continuously, somewhere it is registered in his mind very nicely. And in this interactive wall, we can make use of visuals, graphics, real objects also, just like this. The slide which is depicting the mixtures, this can be separated, solutions can be used, some actual materials can be used and put up in the polythene bag or the Ziploc bag, and they can be pinned up on the wall. So this creative wall, I mean this interactive world wall, can be made as an activity in the classroom. And this is possible in the classroom situation when we are going to school and all, when the children will be coming to school, that time only these things are possible. Then moving to the next, the science word wall. Now that is slightly, here it is like the different words, now space, now related to space. So words can be put up with the pictures. So when the picture is also there, the spelling is also there. The child is learning so many things like animal cell, nucleus is important. So that has been put. Earth science, Earth's core, volcano, human biology, body, brain. So related to that particular one topic, subtopic, the words can be put up. Here just 2 to 3 words have been put up, but we can make use of one concept and relate all the words on that wall. Moving to the next is the thinking maps. Now, why this is so important? Now, let me tell you, here I will be going through different maps, and there are like brace maps, which where the breaking of the large objects into the smaller parts takes place. Then the flow maps are there to show the sequence of the events. Multi-flow maps are there to show the effects or causes of an event. Tree maps are there to classify the objects and the ideas. Now, one by one, we'll be studying which are those. There are total 8 maps. So I'll be showing them. The first one is the circle map. You can see here, this is the birthday party. Now, whatever is required, this can be applied in any subject. It's not related to science, but we can make use of it in science also. And what are the food materials or the menu required for the birthday party or the things required for the decoration? Everything can be put up in this circle map. Then comes the bubble map. Now this I had used it for the excretory system, where these are depicting like bubbles of different sizes, and the parts, the main parts of the excretory system has been written, and what is the function for each one of them has been written in this way. So when we are doing something different in the colorful manner, because some children, they love colors, so even they are creative, they love to do drawing all the time, and they may not be liking science, but when we are giving like this topics in between, so they would love to do all this, and they are engaged fruitfully in that work, doing this work and submitting it. Then the flow map. The flow map, here I've taken an example of reflex arc. Now, how the reflex action is caused, it has been depicted in various shapes. So this is called as flow map, how the sequence is carried on. Then comes the brace map. Now here the brace map, I have taken up the example of human respiratory system. Now what are the different parts which are involved in respiration? Lungs are there, nostrils are there, trachea is there. Now what are the major characteristic features of each one of them, and what is the function? That can be written on this side. So when we are putting this map in this manner, it is called as brace map, because we are using the braces over here. Then we have
Madam, just a minute, ma'am. Some say that they cannot see what you are displaying. So what participants can do is, you can pin the resource person. When madam shows something, you can pin her so that you can see it elaborated in front of you. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Jyoti, ma'am.
Yes,
thank
sir. Then tree map. Now here the tree map, the plant kingdom has been depicted, and those circles are showing like different divisions which are present in the plant kingdom: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms, Angiosperms, different divisions which are present in the plant kingdom. So this can be put up in a small map like this, which is called as tree map. Now, here what happens when the child is actually learning, doing revision for his exams, it becomes very easy to refer all these maps. Then this is called as double bubble map. Now the double bubble map here, it is showing two circles, and in the center where it is overlapping, these are the common points which are related to the one circle and the other circle also. Whereas when we look at one circle, all those points, like here are taken about the marine habitat, and in the other as the fish in the ocean and all. So we can use such double bubble map in various subjects. It's not restricted only to science. Any subject, we can make use of all these maps. Then comes the bridge map. Now here the bridge map is very simple in looking, but here I have taken an example of a Superman. Now Superman is, I mean, we always correlate it with flight. And then the Batman, he is very good in technology. Spider-Man, he is very good in web designing. So all these things, if anything is very, very important, and we have to remember that, we can put up in this bridge map format. Then we have multi-flow map. Now the multi-flow map, here many things are involved. That is the reason we call it as multi-flow map. Like circulatory system example have taken, and here the major parts of the circulatory system are blood, blood vessels and heart. So what comes under blood? What comes under blood vessels? What comes under heart? Like 4 chambers of the heart. Blood vessels, there are 3 types of blood vessels. And in the blood, what is the composition? Everything has been depicted very well, and this is called as multi-flow map. So moving to the next methodology. These are called as mini anchor charts. Now, why we are using these charts? Because they are giving a good idea, plus there is a detailed information about that particular topic. Now, teachers can use this very interactively when they're teaching any scientific method, any topic they are covering. So here what happens, she can bring variations, like how the variations can be brought. Now this I have tried in my classroom, like heart. When I was teaching them the heart, after teaching the concept, I gave them this printout, black and white printout. Now here the child has been asked to label all the parts within given time. So when they're doing, once the revision is done, everything is done, like these handouts we can give. So these are called as mini anchor charts, which can be black and white, or it can be colored also in this manner. Here I have taken an example of endocrine system. Endocrine system, the various endocrine glands have been depicted in those clouds, and then rectangles, the hormones have been depicted, and finally the functions of these hormones have been written. So this is how we can make it very interesting, and believe me, the children are loving to do all such small activities in the class. This can be done online also. You can ask them, give it as a homework, and they're ready with their submissions all the time. Now comes the crossover learning. Now here the students are given the opportunity to learn in different settings. There are multiple settings. It can be a classroom, it can be a garden, museum, field trips, or clubs. Now here the teacher is proposing a question in the class, and in informal settings, they are trying to find out the answers. And once they find the answers, we are back to classroom, and teacher is discussing about that topic with the children. And there they come up with so many things. If you're teaching them the plant kingdom or anything related to plants, you can take a round in the school premises. So many plants have been planted in the school premises. So that can be done in the school, and that is possible only in the school whenever it will start. And the learners can record, they can link it, they can recall whatever has been done by them in the field, and they can share their experience with the teacher. This is increasing their level of understanding very much. Then comes the debate. Now, who says debate is done only in the other subjects, only in economics or anything? we can also do debate in science. And we know that science is such a subject that it will never agree with any proof. Proof is 100% required. So any evidence, anything is provided, then only we say, yes, it's a science. So debate can take place. This can be a healthy discussion which can be taking place in the class. This can happen online also. You can put up open-ended questions to them and observations, remarks in scientific language. And here the teacher is also guiding them to in their approach, and she is sharing the intellectual expertise with them. So arguments are taking place, but like for example, if we take an example of biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, so in that case, what happens? The child, some are there who will go with the plastic. Plastic is a boon or a curse. Again, some will say plastic is very useful. Some will say plastic is spoiling our environment, so we don't want plastic. So both the ways it can be debated. So like this, we can take up any topic for the debate in science. Yes. Now, can anyone guess how we can make use of waste colored papers as a teaching technique?
Waste colored papers means?
I mean, sir, whenever we are doing any art and craft, so small pieces of papers, the colored papers are left over. Some people throw it in the waste completely. So instead of throwing in the waste, we can make use of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rohini
participants
wants
have
to-
written they can make the collages, and they can make the flowers, they can make the different organs, and they can make the beautiful patterns.
Yes, I agree with the audience. My audience is very, very intelligent. They have guessed it rightly. Only the thing is, we will give a different name to this, and this is very successfully worked out, which is called as a lap book, LAP lap book. Now, it can be called layer book or the shutter book and all. Now, here, what I have done is the whole thing has been put up in a colorful papers and in one place. It is just a revision. See, I'll show you this. This is the lab book for standard 9th, where I have taken the topic cell, and internally all the waste papers have been made use, and the different shape has been given for the plant cell, animal cell. And inside, they're going to write the important points related to that animal cell or plant cell. So all these things can be put up very beautifully like this. It can be called as an art integration project. Now, someone had questioned related to physics. So even in the physics, the same concept can be done. We can take any topic of the physics and ask them to write the formulas or the concept about that particular thing. What is the characteristic feature of that? Everything can be done. So this is called as a lab book. It can be applicable for any subject. And that is a quick revision in a nutshell, actually. Then comes the context-based learning. Now here the students are given the opportunity that they have to explore the ideas, whatever they are coming across, and they can go in the surrounding, in the nearby neighborhood and all. They can hold the conversations with the subject experts, and then they can come up with the notes. Whatever conversation they had with those people, they can jot it down in the form of notes, and then they can discuss it in the classroom. So this is where we are trying to correlate, interpret the new information from the context and relate it to what they already know. So here, these are the different steps which can be followed. Exploration of the context can be done, development of the capabilities, inquiry, then taking action of that particular thing. Next is computational way of doing the things. Here, 4 things are involved. One is decomposition, pattern recognition, abstraction, algorithm. Now, what is the meaning of this? These are the key concepts which one has to remember when we are going for this computational thinking methodology. Here, they have to remember that how we can solve this in different manner. Like, first thing is 4 steps to be remembered. If I take an example of baking a cake, now how the cake has to be baked. So decomposition means what here? The breaking the problem into smaller chunks. Like baking a cake, what all things are involved: frosting, decorations, the cake, the components required for the cake making, all those are required. So that has to be put up in the first category, which is called as decomposition. When we are doing this, we are basically analyzing it. The problems are solved in part wise, like a computer or a computer scientist, like that. And the second part will be pattern recognition. Now, in pattern recognition, they can identify the similarities of patterns which can help to solve that particular problem. Now, if the baking a cake is taking place, then how many repeating layers the cake will have? How many we have to make the layers, or how the pattern I want. I want the cake in the form of a ball. I want the cake in the form of heart, that shape of a heart. So all these patterns can be decided in this. And in the third, abstraction, if any unnecessary things are coming that won't help to solve the problem, so that can be removed. So if those ingredients which are not required, they are not that important, so we can ignore that. Then formatting a general solution. Once the problem is broken down into accordingly, we have to take those pieces, solve them individually, and put them together logically. So this is like for baking a cake, first what was required, the ingredients which were required, how the batter was formed, and how later on the baking took place, the frosting, the decorations, and then finally a full decorated cake has been formed. Then moving to the next, that is the mnemonics. Now the mnemonics, this is a very shortcut method, especially when the child is not able to remember big sentences, or there are certain sequence which they have to remember in that particular order only. So that can be done, like when I was teaching class 9th, the hierarchy, that was very difficult for them to remember which comes first, which comes next. So kingdom, phylum, division, class, order, family, genus, and species. So we have to put it in a shortcut method like KPC of GS. You can write KP/D C of GS. Now when we are doing this, they remember KPC of GS. KPC of GS means what now? So K stands for kingdom, P for phylum, D for division. Like this we can teach them. We can also put it in an interesting manner by giving them a reverse order, like Saurabh Ganguly's family ordered chawal, paneer, and kebab. So children can form their own sentences when they're doing this. That becomes very interesting. They are learning the sentence, but make sure that they are not writing the same sentence in the exam. Then they will cut the marks will be cut. They will lose the marks unnecessarily. So they have to remember that KPC of GS. Similarly, when we are talking about the solar system, there we can have the sentence, my very efficient mother just served us noodles. Similarly, in the cell division, and that is in the class 11th and 12th, when they are coming across the cell division, they don't remember the order properly. They will write telophase first, metaphase next, like this. So here again, we can say that PMAT or PM at. So P stands for prophase, M for metaphase, A for anaphase, T for telophase. So like this, we can make them learn in very quick manner, and they are also interested in forming those lovely sentences. Then comes the next is science museum. Now the science museum is like, it is a part of learning process. It is very like every school is taking their children for the museum visit and all. And even we did that. This is just possible only when the schools will work regularly. And here they are coming across that museum. They are having a look at all the objects which are on display, whether they are dead animals or whatever. So they have been preserved with the chemicals and they have been displayed. So this example, we did it. I mean, the IFSA example I'm giving, this is the Indian Women Scientists Association, which is in my nearby locality. So here we had taken our children and they enjoyed thoroughly because there the science on wheels was put up. A bus was there. In that bus, all the experiments were displayed inside the bus. That was a movable. So that was very interesting for them. They were getting inside the bus. They were having look at all those 10 experiments. And it was really enjoying session for them. Then comes the projects. Now everybody knows that projects are compulsory and it is a part and parcel of a study. But some children are really good in doing the projects. Some do not like. So we can put it looking at the interest of the child. If we want to do a group activity, we can have 2 smart children in that, 2 average children and 2 below average children. Because as a teacher, we know our class very well. So we don't have to put all the children, smart children in one group or all the weaker students in one group. We should never do that. When we are doing, we have to split up in such a manner that there is one monitor. Like one is a smart child and he is monitoring that project, or he is helping out the other, his friends, to do that. So when they're doing these projects, say any project for science exhibition or for anything, first of all, the idea. Second is how the plan has to be built up. Third, executing the plan. And then they have to evaluate themselves that whether whatever I have done is correct or not. And when they are passing through these all stages, yes, they may come across many challenges. They may find that it is not working properly. So, but then they have that skill to identify that problem and even solve it. You never know that these small kids are so smart enough that they are able to handle all these things very smoothly. And that is how the self assessment plus teamwork, main thing is teamwork. Even today on the online, we are doing all the group activities very smoothly. It is working very nice, and they are also contributing their ideas and doing all the things very well. All the children, either they are coming at one place and doing it, or they are at their homes respectively and they are doing the projects. Next is multimedia approach. Now, the multimedia approach here, the text, audio, animation, videos, images, many things are involved. So we can teach this diverse, difficult to understand concepts in science. Now here the child is having like whatever techniques he can make use, he can do the animation videos, and some children are very good in this approach, multimedia approach, they are very good. So they can do their presentation in the form of animation videos, or only the audio voiceover can be given. So this is also one of the methodology which can be applied. Now this ICT, which is ICT enabled learning, information and communication technology. Now this and the earlier one, multimedia, they're slightly correlated. But here we are trying to teach the scientific ideas, which is going to promote the open source learning. Now here one extra thing is there that there are different computer softwares are used in this, that storage, how the storage of the data should be done, how the audio visual should be played, and how the system works completely. The child is getting completely, because everybody is having this subject called as computer science today. So when they are going through that subject, there also they are learning many things, so they can implement it when they are doing any projects or something like that. They can store it, how to transmit this information. So all these things they are learning through ICT. Then video clips. Yes, video clips, we all know that, as I said before also, whenever we see something, it gets registered. Similarly, when we see any video, instructional video clips are there on the websites, even the libraries it is available. So it can be conveyed, and this works out in the pre-primary classes, lower classes, even in the higher classes it works out, but fruitfully and enjoyable, that is done in the primary class, where the video is displayed and the child is looking the video, the story is going on, whatever they are learning the concepts through that video. It works in pre-primary level a lot. So there the grasping power of the children is very good. So that can be done. And in the higher classes, we can have the video of an interview with an scientist, or tutorial which has been given by a subject expert, something like that. Then PowerPoint presentation. Now PowerPoint presentation, which I am doing right now, is also the same thing. Instead of going with the conventional talk and chalk methods, teacher can go with the PPTs. So these PPTs can be shared with the children and they can learn the concept very easily. So that is, it makes, you can put up the interesting slides with pictures and all, flow charts, diagrams, and to make it more interactive, we can do that. Then mini labs. Now the mini labs of formal laboratories. Now these are like where lab is working and we are taking them to the lab and performing that particular experiment. But in a school environment, we can set up a mini lab where the things for hands-on activities can be kept in that particular area and the child has to go through it. Even this can be done at home for testing the conductivity or magnetism or day and light with the glow, flashlight, and building up a circuit, something like that. Any concept can be taught at home also. Here the children are working in the lab. Yeah. Next method is science exhibition or fairs. Now, why do we conduct science exhibition? Can anyone tell me? Yes, why do we conduct science exhibitions? What is the reason?
Audience have written the practical knowledge to promote the ideas, to explore, and to do the hands-on experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is the
And
correct
miss,
answer.
somebody wants to speak also. Okay, have gone. Okay, continue. Thank you.
So that is very perfect answer, where the children are having hands-on experience about that particular experiment. And not only that, when they're displaying their project in front of the crowd, their confidence level is increasing. Now, some children are very good in doing the projects, but they are not able to speak properly in front of the crowd. They become very shy, or they feel very much different, that they don't want to be in front of the crowd. They just want to display their project. So we can put up such children in front, and even they are doing the project, we can promote them by giving all these experiments and all, which is increasing their confidence level, and it is also showcasing their talent in what they are good at. So they are displaying the boards, they're displaying the models or the reports, whatever they have written, the charts and all. So this is very, very good, and it helps them to motivate to do some research based activities when they become big. So this is increasing the critical thinking skills, and analytical skills are also increased, as well as the reasoning skills. So here the children are doing the experiments. This is our school children, those who are performing the experiment, science exhibition. Then moving to the next methodology, research books. Now here the teacher can promote the use of research books. Like only the textbook, on reading the textbook is very boring, or giving only the lecture notes are boring. So in that case, she can ask them to do a research on whatever topic she is going to cover. And by they can go to library, they can visit the websites, or they can have a talk with the experts. So this, what is happening in this, it is not only restricted to the textbook syllabus, but they are going beyond that. It is something which is extended information of syllabus that they are going to cover. And they also come up with something new. They can discuss it with the teacher, and then they will come up with the conclusion, what is it all about. And they can share it with their classmates too. Now the documented problem solving. Now here the teacher is insisting the students to record their thought process when they're solving a problem. Like they should not jump directly to the conclusion or directly to the answer. Now even in the mathematics or physics numericals, there are many things where tricks are there, where the child can get the answer within 2 steps. So when they're doing that in the exam, they will lose out the marks. So instead of that, they have to go stepwise, how that answer they have got. Exactly that has to be followed. So when they're doing this, they're reasoning out why that particular solution they got. They have to give the reason. So when they're giving the reason, automatically the deep understanding of that concept takes place. And this is helping very much in mathematics as well as in physics numericals. The next one is science stations. Now the science stations, like this is very fun and quick and engaging way where the students are engaged in this particular thing. Like small equipments can be put up in the classroom, or say a premise where it is available, or place which is available in the school. Like this multiple stations can be installed in the school where the learning styles are taking place. The students are coming in groups, they're doing that research, they're exploring, they're watching, they're reading, writing, everything about that concept. I'll just show one pic over here. Like this is the, we can call this as station science. S for summarize, C for create, I for interpret, E for experiment, N for navigate, C for challenge, and E for extend. So these are all the things that they have to take care when they are doing that research work in the station. So this is one of the science station which has been set up. Then observation stations in open fields. Now this is also similar to that, but then this is done in the open field. It is not restricted in the class. It is outside the premises. So how we can do this? So it is just like giving the textbook assignment, that these are all the limitations. So the child is observing the things actually which is happening in the surrounding. As if I give an example here, like earlier ancient time, Gurukul, Shantiniketan, all these were working very nicely. There the children were sitting under a tree and learning in the natural environment. So there they are actually coming across the real objects and they're learning something new. So same thing we can also do in our school premises, having 5 to 6 stations with different options. Now, if I take an example of earthworm, if I have to study the life cycle of earthworm under different climatic conditions, so this can be done very nicely. Why? Because the earthworms cannot survive in the heat atmosphere. They need the shady region. So if you put the earthworms in the sunlight, they will die. So if they are put up in the shady areas, they are living very nice, surviving very well. So this is how the child can compare both the climatic conditions and he can come up with the conclusions. So germination of the seeds, when we are teaching this for the small children, right from first standard, we are teaching them germination means what. They may not know what is the word germination, but we are telling them the simple meaning. But when they do it actually by sowing the seeds in a small pot and they're growing the plants, it actually works out very well. They will remember that process throughout their lifetime. Same thing, mini kitchen garden can be done in the school where fenugreek, coriander, spinach, tomatoes, chilies, all these grow very quickly. So this can be done in the school where we can say, call it as a mini kitchen garden. Then peer-to-peer teaching. Now here, the CBSE is also giving one particular aspect that they are focusing on peer-to-peer teaching very much. Marks are allotted for this. Every term, we compulsory carry out this peer-to-peer teaching. Now, why we are doing this? What is the reason for doing? It's like building up the child's research activity. Plus, there the child is thinking here the teacher is not at all explaining initially. Here the child will be asked to explain that particular subtopic or topic to the whole class. So when the child is doing this, he or she is the confidence level increases. And if one care has to be taken by the teacher, that if the child has come up with a wrong information or wrong something concept, then teacher should immediately stop there and she should correct the child. Otherwise, then the child will learn the same thing and he will pass it on to his classmates also in the same manner. So here the teachers should be very, very vigilant when they are conducting this peer-to-peer teaching. Then comes the next is science movies. Now, as we watch Hindi movies or different language movies, we love to go to school, cinema theater and all. So once in a while, children can be taken to cinema hall to observe science movies. Now, there are so many science movies which are there, like Sunshine, Artificial Intelligence, Interstellar, Mangalyaan. So when they are watching the movie again, it will be remembered throughout their lifetime. So it is not only the textbook, it is not the spoon feeding which is done through the textbook, but also they will get some extra knowledge when they're watching the movies. But yes, it should be made sure even if they're watching the correct picture, the related to science movie only they are watching. Then comes science games for kids. Now, this games, as I told before also, children love to play games. Now, the smart teacher will always implement this method very first. Why? Because children they don't want to be restricted only with the textbooks and all. They want something in the game form, which they will learn quickly. So when I was doing this activity of, teaching the concept of vertebrates and invertebrates and the diversity of living organism in class 9. So there they were always finding difficult of remembering those names, Coelenterata, Scelminthus, Platyhelminthes, and all. So how to make them this concept or the words very easy, or the names, especially the names. Nobody wants to take biology because they feel scared of these terms, big terms only they are scared of. So to make that very easy, I made them to play a memory game. Like memory game, the children are sitting in rows. This can be done even online. So the first child is asked to say the first name, the first phylum, Porifera. And the next one will remember Porifera and he has to say the second phylum. So like this, when it goes to the 10 phylums, the 10th child has to remember all the names of the phylums right from 1 to 9, and the 10th one is his. But I found this very interesting because during the break, that this is when it was a regular school I'm talking about, that I conducted this activity in my class, and later on in the lunch period, they were calling, addressing themselves as Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, and all. So that was very, I mean, you are Annelida, you are Platyhelminthes. Like this, they were addressing each other, and they were remembering, actually, they were remembering the names of all the invertebrates, and later on the vertebrates order also was known to them very quickly. This can also be done in the form of crossword puzzles. You can give them crossword puzzles anytime. So that is like an activity, worksheets, anything can be given. This is a game, they love to play games. Now being online, we can put up in the crossword puzzles, and they are asked to do that marking on the screen. They do it very quickly. This also I have tried out. They have done very nicely, and very quickly they are able to solve all the puzzles within few minutes. So this is one thing where they can learn. Then science songs. Now in the science songs, this is something creative teaching methodology. Now here the teacher can come up with many songs, and like science is real, meet the elements, star song, motion song. Like one I would like to play for you. Just give me 1 second. Hmm? I'll just try it out later. It's not working. Science songs are there where they can learn the song, even the chemical reaction. Somebody was asking about the periodic table. Now, how that periodic table can be learned very easily. So, in the form of song, there are science songs related to that periodic table which are available. So, in chemistry, it becomes very easy if they're learning that song. Yeah, then comes the mobile apps. Now, there are various mobile apps which are available like Human Body, Cosmic Zoom, Earth Primer, Video Science, Science 360, NASA Globe, and all. So here they are learning all the concepts through the apps. And children are very tech savvy today. They love to play with these gadgets every time. But we can channelize their energy in a proper manner by allowing them to go to these apps. And they're expert even in doing the apps today. Then comes the next method is excursion or the field trip. Even this is done by every school. Now, why do we do this? Here again, the child is actually learning in the natural environment, and they're enjoying. For them, it's a picnic. So they really enjoy. We had taken them to IVSA where they are going through all the medicinal plants, and they were learning the importance of those plants and all. So this is also very, very interesting. Then science club. I feel that every school should have a science club. Now, why? Because this is a very ideal approach to STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now, here, the child, those who are science enthusiasts, they will try to share up with whatever new concepts are coming or any news related to science. They can share it in their group. So, when you have a science club, they can come up with those things, facts, and all, and they can connect it with the innovative ideas, and whatever they have learned, actually they can really correlate it with it. Yeah, in the science club, so this I found in one of the group where I'm involved with Abdul Salam sir. So in the same group I had seen this, somebody had performed, this is like edible cell. So even I tried it with my 11th standard students, and they had prepared very nicely, like the whole plant cell or animal cell was put up in the format, and they were asked to eat also. Everything was nutritious as well as it was edible. So I have few slides related to that of my children, those who have done it. The plant cell, the cutting in the same shape has been done, and all the edible items have been shown here.
This is experiential. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. this is experiential learning, and this can be applied in when you have a science club in your school. So this can be taken as an activity by the teachers. Next is reward discovery. Now, for every teacher, we always find that yes, all the children should learn whatever I have taught. Everybody should learn. But at the same time, she should also take care that if any child is
Excuse me,
coming.
ma'am.
Yes.
Can you put it on your slideshow?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, there is an error, I guess. I'll just try once again. If go further. Ma'am, it's not happening.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, reward the discovery. Like here, the teacher can reward the children, even if they're coming with any small thing they have discovered. So we have to appreciate them. We can give them a small labels like junior environmentalist or little scientist or budding scientist, something like that. They will also feel motivated, and this works out with all the classes, whatever the age be. Let it be 12th standard children or even the first standard children. First standard children are always fascinated with that star that they get on their hand. So this all can be applied in the classroom when the teacher is teaching. But we have to reward that. That is very important. Then comes the next is science journals, interactive science journals. Now here, this is something little advanced version of lecture notes. Now here, the students are expressing that information, whatever they have collected in different templates, and they're coming up with their own responses. It is not that whatever is there already, they are just picking it up. It is up to their own responses, whatever they are coming up with. And this technique works out very effectively because this is having a deeper connection to the learning what they are doing, and it is also increasing the higher level of thinking is taking place in this. And this can be done in a creative manner like this. I'm showing here one of the thing. They can write and they can stick the pictures. It can be done in the colored format. They can make it colorful by sticking different pictures and all. Like here, again, like this, it has been done. Are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Participants can, pin, madam, pin resource person. You can see it enlarged.
Yeah, like this, we can have the interactive science journal, like sedimentation has been written here, and related to that, the diagrams have been done. So this can become an art integrated project as well as interactive science journal, which can be shared with their classmates. Then the science at home. Now, when we are doing science at home, we know that there are so many things which are available at home itself in the kitchen. Kitchen is our science platform. So there we can ask them to have simple experiments, like iodine is available very easily. So here they can have the piece of potato, and when the piece of potato is dipped in iodine, it turns bluish black. Now they have to give reason why did it turn bluish black. The reason is starch is present in it. So why and how it is happening, all these reasonings should happen. Plus this is very easy, they can do it at home anytime. Same thing with turmeric and soap. Now this year the turmeric, this is there, and when the soap is applied on the turmeric, it becomes red. Now why does it become red? That has to be given, the reason has to be told to them. Soap is alkaline by nature, whereas turmeric is slightly acidic in nature. So when they react, it forms red color. So such experiments where the children can do it safely under the guidance of parents, that can be done. Parents, those who are educated, so they can help out their children while carrying out so many experiments They can also have a balloon powered toy car. So how this car or balloon car, toy car is working, so that all things can, well, they will learn the concepts with the help of teacher, but at home also they can try all these experiments. Then we have flipped classroom. Now this is also innovative teaching technique where the students are given the video instructions or the tutorials are given at the initial stage. We can call this as digital learning. Here, the child is not taught about the concept at first. They are just guided by giving them all the materials. What the child has to do, they have to go through that videos, the instructions, the tutorials which has been provided by the teacher, and they have to come up with that concept, whatever they are learning, and then they have to discuss it in the classroom. So when they're doing this, they are having many challenges, as I said before also, so they can overcome all these challenges. So this is called as flipped classroom. And here the teacher is very much sure that whatever the child has done is correct. Yes, but if they are going wrong, we should guide them at the right time. Then the next is guided discovery problems. Now here the science, like just by knowing the facts, is not done. So this can be integrated into the lecture or lab or field courses. Now here the child is learning that concept step by step by discovery method, and he's trying to collect all the information. He's trying to process that data if debugging is done. So all these are the different steps which are to be followed when this particular methodology is applied. And this works out with higher grades like 11th and 12th very well. So the steps to be followed, like here I have shown: exploration, then invention, and then the discovery. Whatever exploration, the teacher is presenting them with divergent questions. They are assessing the students by providing them the environment, and then invention is taking place, and then the discovery. The child is applying whatever he has learned in the exploration and invention stages to come up, to that new situations. Then fishbone. Now, this is a critical thinking where it's an approach to solve the problem in science. Now, I will be showing a fishbone diagram here, which is having the root causes are there, why that problem has caused, and what is the relationship between the effect and cause. So when I'm showing the diagram, the head of the fish is going to represent the change, the ribs will show the reason, and riblets will have the supportive evidence. Now here I'm showing you one chart which I have done. This is related to the human brain, then nervous system, that is forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. Then we can come up with the reasons and how it is working or the functioning of the brain and what are the different parts of the brain. They can be depicted in this manner. So it becomes very easy to remember actually. And one more example, which is not related to science, but here, like bad coffee. Now, why that coffee was very bad? So the reasons are four: people, procedures, material, or equipment. So why? The procedure was wrong, no training was given, or too much water was added to that coffee, or the wrong size filter was used, or if the equipments, did that person use a dirty cup for offering the coffee, or was it not hot? So these are all the reasons which are causing that bad coffee finally. So here, this particular methodology is very, very effective in social science, because there in the history, they are learning about many causes for the world war, what happened, the consequences, the effects and all. So this is very helpful in social studies. Then comes next is the science quiz. Now, this everybody conducts the science quiz in every subject, even for yoga or PE, any subject we can conduct science quiz. This is always interesting, and the whole class is interacting in this session. So here, this is carried out in every school. Then models. Now, when we are talking about the models, so here again, it is where the child is trying to make some model on his own. So it can be a group activity or an individual activity. So same thing like choosing the idea. First, the idea has to be thought of. Then how to build up the plan, how to execute it. All these are the things which are very, very important the child is going through. Now here the structure of human heart I would like to show. And before that, like animal cell model was also prepared by the children, where they made use of clay, wool, thread, poppy seeds, and mustard seeds was all used in their doing of that particular model. I'll just show the heart model. Are you able to see? This was the heart diagram, working heart model, which was made. That mouse is representing the pacemaker, and those signals, that colored signals, are the signals of the pacemaker going to the heart. So that way the models can be prepared by anybody, and that is especially very important whenever we are having science exhibition or science fair. Now coming to the last methodology. That is seminar. Now seminar is like, it has to be conducted by the students. They have to present whatever they are coming up. We have to assign them with one topic, and please see to it that that topic should not be from the textbook. Now this is something different. Why? Because we are not engaging them with the same textbook language, textbook things, syllabus and all. Let it be out of box. Give them some topic which is not at all related to the syllabus, but it is science related, or any other subject related also, according to the teacher who is teaching that particular subject. Now here what happens, the child is coming up, they are preparing, they are doing the research work and all, and they're presenting their papers in front of the crowd. So when they're doing, automatically this is also increasing their confidence level, and this will really help if they are going to pursue any career later on, or if they're working in corporate world and all, their presentation skill will increase very well. Then here I have certain things to show, like low budget teaching aids which can be made. I'll show one by one. This I had made out of waste Tide packet. I hope everybody knows the big Tide packet which is available. So by making use of that Tide packet and then writing all the different R's on it, this is a multi-purpose pen holder, or you can use it for anything else also. Then the Ziploc bag. See, this is very much available with everyone at home. So whenever we are teaching the water cycle for lower kids, like lower level of the classes, there we can just do with the sketch pen or the permanent marker, writing all the important processes of these water cycle, and then we can actually add water into it. But yes, the rest processes are not going to happen, but just to depict it in a creative manner, we can have this to show them. They will always remember this. When any teacher is showing certain things, they are always remembering this. Then this is the brush stand, which has been made by using the empty aluminum wrap rolls. So all the wrap rolls, we can cut it, we can make it more creative, and then it can be used for pen holder or brush stand. I have made it as a brush stand. Now, even this, children love to play this game. Now, when we were small, even we used to play this. This is called as footy catchers. Now, here, what I have made use of, like, I am talking about the topic here, different layers of earth, and like crust core, and what is the temperature, that has been written here. So like this, we can have these footy catches for different subjects. Then for 9th standard, when I was talking about 5 kingdom classification, I asked them to make in a colorful manner, that is pentagon, and all the 5 kingdoms were written, and the characteristic features of all the kingdoms was written in each one of them. So this children love to do this art and craft work. this is coming, this can be collaborated with art integrated projects. So if you're thinking about art integrated project, this is the best. When we are doing it for bio, then we can have the Christmas tree for lower classes. This is for lower classes when we're teaching about the various rocks and minerals which are existing. They are learning about different rocks and minerals. And so that can be done by using colored papers. And then the characteristic feature for each one of them can be written in this. Then this is also the different layers of atmosphere. This is simple, small teaching aids which teacher can prepare at home very quickly. I have just used the board which was available at home, and I have pasted all these colored papers which are depicting the different layers. And herbarium, which everyone loves to enjoy doing this activity. They are supposed to collect all the dry leaves and they have to paste it. And I have done I had asked my son to do this when he was small. So this was like the economic importance of that particular plant has also been written. And here little bit creative, I have added it to the god also. Like if it is Durva, it is related to Lord Ganesha. Like that, wherever possible, not in all the cases it is possible. So here it was bay leaves. So that was for Lord Shiva. So like this, we can be creative and we can do so many things by making it all the more interesting. So this is about the herbarium. Yes, sir. I have completed my presentation here. I hope everybody has liked it.
Yes, ma'am. Really, it was really a wonderful session. And I think everybody has enjoyed and everybody was very enthusiastically participated in that. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now,
questions are there, no?
Yeah. Now it's time for a question answers, ma'am. Almost you have done. You have covered a lot many queries, but few questions are there. Firstly, the participants want to know, can you explain fishbone method again? Like why only the fish?
Why only the fish? The simple reason, because there are like ribs, riblets, and things. It is nothing. We can again use some other animal also for that. But since it is very easy to depict, I have used this fishbone diagram.
Can you explain a little bit more about it? Like the examples?
Yeah, that example which I gave, shall I show that slide once again?
Yes, sure, ma'am, sure.
Okay, just a minute. Fishbone. Yeah. Now this example of the fishbone diagram, here it is depicting the final one. Look at the head of the fish. It is saying that it's a bad coffee. Now why the coffee was bad? So there are 4 things which are depicted. So procedures, people, material, equipment, they are the ribs. And then those tiny ones, those are the riblets, those tiny arrows. So maybe the reason is dirty cups or the coffee was not hot enough, and or else the size of the filter was wrong, or the water was added too much, training was not given to the person properly, or the materials which was used by that person, the bad cream or outdated or bad sugar, packets were wet. So many reasons are there why that coffee became bad. So this way we can put it in the cause and effect. What was the effect? Final effect was bad coffee. What was the cause? So these are all the reasons. So same thing I was telling, that we can put it in the social studies subject. Fishbone diagram can be applied there also. So that way, or else very simple, not necessary every time it has to be a cause and effect. This is actually the relationship of the fishbone diagram. Or else you can just depict all the small parts related to that major one, as I showed in my diagram. There I have shown about the human nervous system, talking about 3 parts of the brain: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. And again, what are the different parts involved in every brain? So I have depicted in the fishbone pattern. So even that can be the way you have to display the concept.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. You have covered my next question also, as participants wanted to know how to improve the reasoning skills. I think this is covered in this event. Okay. Next question is, ma'am, can you please tell us some games related to science which can be taken during the online classes also?
Yes, ma'am. As I said, the memory game, which I showed the slide also about vertebrates and invertebrates. Plus, you can have dumb charades or you can have KBC, Kaun Banega Crorepati. Well, we are not going to offer them any money over here. Just to motivate them, just to keep them engaged in the playful manner, we can have KBC rounds also related to our subject.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. You have already shared so many modern tools and techniques as our webinar was related to that only. But our participants want to know some most useful techniques which can be used for the low achievers also and for mentally challenged persons also.
Okay. Ma'am, like modern tools are there, like collaborative. Even in this, I have covered flipped classroom, crossover learning is the part of that only. We have spaced learning also. Now, what is spaced learning is where the child, the learning content is repeated 3 to 4 times. That whatever content we are trying to explain, it has to be repeated 3 to 4 times. And after like 10 minutes break you have to give, let them be distracted, no problem, and again they're coming up after the physical activity, again we have to do the same thing. So while doing repetition, what is happening, they are understanding that skill quickly. Self learning can also take place. Now self learning where the child is trying to learn some concepts on his own. So whenever he comes up with that particular concept, he feels very excited. Oh, I have done it on my own without the help of teacher. I read the next part and I was very happy that I was knowing the concept. Well, they may come across certain terms and all which they will not be knowing the meaning at that time, but when they are in the classroom, when teacher is teaching, they will definitely know how it works out. Another one is gamification. Now gamification word, the GAMI, FICATION. This is also one modern tool technique which can be used. This is like adding game mechanics into non-game environments. And like we have learning management system or business intranet to increase the participation. So this is where we are trying to keep them engaged in the having games in it. Another one is VAK teaching, VAK. V stands for visual, A for auditory, K for kinesthetic. So when all the three are put into action, that is tactile and visual and auditory. So this becomes very helpful for even the mentally challenged children or the below average students.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Next question is how we can teach physics using new technologies in higher grades.
Yeah, ma'am. We can have the notes like in the folded manner. We can ask them to prepare those notes, whatever we are teaching, the whole concept. After that is done, they can have that all the concepts in a small format. Like they can use the paper which can be in the folded manner. The normal fullscape paper can be used. And like here, I have to show this way the child is writing all the concepts, only this much part he's using every time. So like this he's covering up the whole chapter in that one fullscape sheet. So part wise, it's not the whole concept in detail you're writing, it's just what is important, the gist of that particular concept is put up in this. So this is very workful. I mean it works out in physics, bio and chemistry. In higher grades it's very very helpful. Like this for various chemistry, physics, bio, all these things have been done. And also you can have that physics which I told in the edible form, like I showed about the cell which can be eaten, the cell can be eaten. But in physics there are certain ray diagrams or whatever diagrams are there, so that can be arranged to edible. By using those edible items we can arrange them in that manner and then the child can have it. That is also one way.
Really informative, ma'am. Um, Can you tell some methods to remember the formulas as well? Like in physics, we used to, we need this thing a lot. So can you
Yes, ma'am.
tell some of the methods?
See, for formulas, I would suggest that they have to practice and writing. Writing is very important. It just doesn't work out with reading the formulas. Formulas, what they do, they will just by heart it. So that has to be not done. Instead of that, let them write it down. Let them derive the formulas. Once they derive the formulas, once they verify why this is not. Every step is verified. That becomes very easy. And the second point is they have to practice writing all the formulas again and again.
Okay.
Ms. Purnima, can I interrupt? Participants
Yes,
are
yes.
asking.
So can't hear you.
Hear you, sir.
Mute. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Participants are asking for the PPT of the session as usual because we usually share it. But dear participants, you can take screenshot. It's available on YouTube, which is live now. You can refer to YouTube later and take screenshot from the YouTube channel. Bharat Sakodaya, and request everyone to subscribe because many are asking the link for the YouTube channel. So please visit the link I have already shared in the chat room. Visit, subscribe so that you will get notifications. Thank you. Over to Purnima.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, it's really a huge responsibility of educators to hone young minds, all with their patience, dedication, and connectivity with their kids. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, very
And
much.
yeah, it was really a wonderful
And if
amalgamation
anybody
of.
wants to ask any question, they can raise their hands. We can take 2-3 questions. And if they want to share any other methodology than this 50 methodology, also it will be so enriching. So participants, if you want to share any other methodology that you find so effective than this one, you can please let us know. And also, if you want to ask any questions, you please raise your hands. We'll unmute you and we can speak.
Is there anyone?
I think it's self-explanatory. The session was okay.
Yeah, there are so many. So, Sunita Java, ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
Excuse me, sir. When I'm going for the certificate, I'll have to choose one option, but in that, this session's option is not given in that, sir.
It is there, ma'am. It is there.
I'm not getting, sir, actually.
It's there. Please refresh and you will get it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So, Sumati Mishra, ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening, ma'am. I just wanted that if we could have an exclusive session on biology for class 11 and 12, number one. And number two, whenever I fill this acceptance form to attend this session, they ask me in the form that which Bharat Sahodaya you belong to. So I'm putting up in Noida. So what should I fill there? Which
Okay.
Bharat Sahodaya group? I
See,
don't.
madam, there are many Sahodayas, under CBSE. Across India, there are more than 200 Sahodaya. In your region, there may be so many Sahodaya. If there is no Sahodaya, you put Bharat Sahodaya. That's all.
Bharat Sahodaya. Fine, sir. Thank you so much. And second, I wanted to say that if there could be a biology session for class 11
Madam,
and
it's
12.
coming up on 24th, I think. Art integration in biology.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jyoti ma'am.
Thank you.
Huge applause for such it was an amazing session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Next, Satish, sir, you can unmute yourself. Mr. Satish Dubey.
I think there is no one. So we can wind up, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, madam. Just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, madam. It's Satish Dubey from Amravati. So I have seen your session. It was really very wonderful. So basically, I'm not belonging from the science, but I'm belonging from SST department. So I really like the ideas which you have given. Secondly, I am also using some of the ideas like flowchart. Secondly, some of the means for the project we are using for planetary, for manometrics, this everything we are using, and some more ideas today you have given. It was extremely a very fabulous session which I have attended, madam. So I request you to kindly arrange the session not only for science but for all other subjects also, so that we can also attend those sessions. And secondly, madam, I filled that link just now that madam was telling. So I filled the link. In that only in last there is a one more link of paid. So I paid filled that also, and I paid the money for the e-certificates. So I was just guiding that madam that there is a link which I have already filled up.
Okay, sir. The many sessions are coming up. This month it's full. Maybe next month we will be coming up with the social science.
Definitely. Sir, we will be looking for those things, and really very nice session. I just request that this session should be held for every subject, not only for science, but like the teachers like us, we are teaching up till 12th SST. So many more ideas are there, means which we can also learn for SSTs, and we can use those for the SST classes, for timeline, for mapping. Many new techniques today we have learned from ma'am. Ma'am, thank you for those things. Really a very nice session, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And this methodology, you
Yes,
can.
Yes, sir.
Only thing is you have to relate to your subject, and there are many, technology tools also.
Very nice session.
Sir, shall I go ahead?
Am I audible?
So your sound is a little bit cracking.
Now it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was talking about making thinking visible was one of the sessions wherein we have introduced lots of tech tools which you can introduce, which you can use for conducting this your classes in the particular subject. Use these methodologies. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Purnima ma'am. You can wind up.
Okay. So thank you so much, ma'am, once again. I'm sure that we all have, you have given us a new vision to teach science effectively as well as innovatively for better learning outcomes. It was a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all the participants also. Because of you and your presence and your dedication, we as a Bharat Sahodaya, you are motivating us too much. And on that note, let me convey my immense gratitude to Ms. C. Lata Prakash for enlightening the occasion with her presence. Also, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to CBSE Bharat Sahodaya Complex Dr. Abdul Salam sir for bringing us all together and creating learning opportunities for all of us every week. I would like to convey my gratitude to Mr. Shibu and Mr. Bijoy Pillai, Ms. Jayanti for all selfless dedication and commitments. This event has been possible by the cooperation and under the vision of our wonderful IT and technical department, Mr. Arun Mohan sir and Arafat sir. Not to forget, a huge thanks to all of you present and for your such wonderful and enthusiastic participation. Once again, I would like to express my gratitude to all esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. With the promise to meet again on either side of the screen, I would request Dr. Salam sir to wind up the session. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, Ms. Purnima, for the nice job you have done.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, Ms. Jodi, for the enriching session. Many methods you have, shared with the participants. Actually, knowledge is to be shared with everyone. So you have done that. Thank you so much for coming forward to share these 50 methodologies. I'm pretty sure our educators will be taking them forward to implement in their classroom. And thank you each and everyone for joining us today. We know that you are in the middle of, hectic job and all, work and all, and you have spent more than 2 hours with us. Thank you so much. Please implement all these methodologies in the classroom. Also find out tools, because we are online now. Find out tools. Visit our YouTube. There are many sessions we have conducted for online tools, and you'll be able to use those tools to implement these methodologies in the classroom. So thank you so much. Keep connected. And all the, don't worry about certificate and all. Participation is very, very important. Certificates will come to you, and we will be emailing you the link and all. Don't worry. Thank you so much once again to Purnima ma'am and Jyoti ma'am and all the participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Let's wind up.
Okay.